Hi everybody, welcome back to my little YouTube channel called Dawn of War. It's a YouTube channel about Warhammer. Imagine that. I think it's the first one that anyone's ever done. So a whole new concept. Somebody on YouTube talking about Warhammer. I know it's shocking, but hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please like and subscribe and comment, because as you all know, it helps the algorithm, it helps get videos recommended to other people. I think it improves the visibility of the videos. So we're up to 25 subscribers, and I know one of those is my girlfriend, so it's 24. Let's go to 30. Okay, if we can get to the big 3-0, are we happy? But luckily I only do this for fun, not for internet fame. But I better get on with this, because last night Games Workshop did the big summer preview, which was they recorded or released during the Tacoma Open, which is a big tournament in America. And as they often do, whilst these big tournaments are going on, they do a excuse me, oh my goodness, they do a reveal stream, which is a varying quality. Sometimes they're real disappointments, sometimes they're great. The last couple have been pretty good, actually. So I had high hopes for this one. It was out last night. I didn't actually get to see it at the time, because I was actually out playing 40k last night with my Emperor's Children. But anyway, I digress. So I watched a little bit of the stream, or parts of the stream, when I got in, and then I'm just going to have like a proper look at what they revealed now and go through it at the same time as recording this video. So I know there's a lot, though. They released quite a lot of stuff. It was a 90-minute stream, so I need to crack on with this, because I'm liable to waffle, and then it'll be a 90-minute video in response here. So all I will say is that they released a sort of a preview, a teaser trailer video, really, a couple of weeks ago, which I covered. And in it, they were all, Eddie and, what's his name, the other one, was, is it John Troke? I can't remember. Adam Troke. I do actually like Adam, but not enough to remember his name, obviously. They were wearing different hats, which gave you clues to what was going to be released. And I think I got most of them right. Some of them I just had no idea, so they were surprises. But the big disappointment was, I thought the Jester's hat that they wore at one point in the teaser meant that there would be a Harlequin model somewhere, and that sadly was wrong. But let's go through without further ado, and we will crack on with this. So I've got their big summary article here, and you can see how many things were released, and I'm going to go through all of it and read all of it, so I need to crack on. We'll go through in order. The first big release was Leagues of Votann. Now, as you will probably know, if you're into Warhammer 40,000, the Votann are basically the squats returning to the setting, and they've been back for a good couple of years now, and as GW seem to do these days, they release pretty much half of a range. And then 2 or 3 years later, they released this sort of second stage. They'd done it with a lot of armies. They did it with Sisters of Battle. They did it with Lumineth. They did it with the Eldar. I think they're doing it with Orcs as well. So quite a few. Hopefully they do it with Tyranids as well. But anyway, they have now definitely done it with the Leagues of Votann. And let's go into the article. Just after reading this, it says, the kin are back. And they brought reinforcements. Yes, the Leagues of Votann return to the field with new troops, new artillery, new heroes, and new abominable intelligence. So this will hopefully flesh out the Votann range. I don't know whether the Votann range is really popular. I never see anyone playing them. I think they're quite decent in the rules. And maybe with this second half of the range, they will now suddenly be a lot more popular. But I never see anyone playing them or talking about them, although somebody that I spoke to last night said that they were thinking of getting involved with the Votann. So who knows, maybe these kits will be the thing that really makes them popular from now on. So let's race through this. The Leagues of Votann are back with 6 new plastic kits, a new codex, and all the accessories. And there's a lot to enjoy. First character, Buri Egnerson. So we have this sort of Scandinavian like type naming convention for the Votan for the Votan. Known as the Thrice Devoured, and Buri, however you say this, is a new special character for the Leagues of Votan, and he's akin with issues. Buri is the last survivor of the Emberg-Egnir block, a league utterly devoured by Hive Fleet Leviathan. He bears the sorrow and bitterness of his lost kin, arriving unbidden to fight alongside other leagues for reasons that are entirely his own. So he's a guy who operates on his own, almost like not a hired gun, but he's somebody who will join. He seems to be sort of a bit nomadic and will join in with all the different sort of sub-factions of the Votan when it arises. And I think they mentioned on the stream the little bit that caught. They said something like he would have lone operative as one of his rules. So he's sort of operates alone. I actually like this character, I have to say. I like everything about him, really. And I have to say, I do not like dwarfs in any setting. So this was not really the reveal stream for me, as you'll see, because I don't like dwarfs in any IP, in any universe. They're just not for me. But I like this sort of the brass kind of motifs here, and the helmet he's wearing, and then the weapon is awesome. I love the purple and gold painting, and then of course his main thing is he's wearing a Tyrannid hide, and I think the story is that he's called, as they say, the Thrice Devoured. There's some story, some background about him having been eaten 3 times by a Tyrannid, and each time been regurgitated or fought his way out. But that's his story. It says that Buri carries Bane, a Darkstar glaive of prodigious power, but his most obvious identifier is the skull of a Tyrannid beast that he wears as a trophy. In battle, this ferocious survivor is seriously hard to kill. In fact, the first time he falls in battle on a 2-up, he'll get back up again, ready to seek vengeance once more. That's a good rule. You know, we see a lot of characters who have to pass a leadership test, or you have to use a stratagem or something. So you need to keep a CP in reserve to do that, to bring them back after death. But to just come back straight away on a 2-up is excellent. He looks really cool. The next character is an Arcanist Evaluator. Part mad scientist, part deadly gunner, and all kin. The Arcanist Evaluator is a member of the science guilds responsible for testing new technologies. Every battle is a field test where they can ensure their latest weapons are fit for mass production. Now, this guy, I'm less keen on. He looks like a sort of mad professor type thing. This is very World of Warcrafty type head here. He looks like a World of Warcraft gnome or something. Don't really like that. The helmet's okay. It's kind of, I mean, obviously it's anonymous, or, pretty lacking in detail, but it's all right. I think I'd have him with the helmet on, actually. This was a what do you call them now? The the teasers they put out every week, where they show a little section of the model. Rumour Engine, that's it. It was on the tip of my tongue. The Rumour Engine. This was a Rumour Engine, I think. And everyone thought it was Necrons, but it's not. Apparently, it's a transmatter inverter, because our Arcanist is equipped with a transmatter inverter, a weapon that unleashes deadly energies to rupture tissue at a cellular level. It's got 3 fire modes, and at its most extreme, it can trigger lethal atomic transformations. I wonder how that's going to play out on the tabletop. I do quite like the fact that, I mean, if this is a weapon where you can pick 3 different types, like an anti-infantry and an anti-tank, and then, I don't know, something else. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen a weapon in 40k that has 3 different profiles, so that's something new. The Memnir Strategist. The Memnir is the first Ironkin character we've seen for the Leagues of Votan. So this is a new thing, Ironkin. A cunning individual with steepled fingers and strange floating tethers. It carries a gun. So not he, it carries a gun. But this is not the main reason to include it in your army. No, the plan is to assign it to a unit of steeljacks, see below, and use its cognitar mantle to glorious effect. So this is not a person then, this must be a robot, because they keep referring to it as an it. And that's interesting. He kind of looks like a Marvel villain, like he looks like Dr. Octopus or something, doesn't he, with his steepled fingers and his almost like tentacle things. Carrying a little data slate. I think that's quite a cool model. That's a new twist on a character, really. I like that. It's quite innovative. Quite like the sort of detailing all around his cloak. And again, I think because he's just got this helmet thing, I think he is like a robot. It's an it, not a him. Interesting. This unusual piece of tech allows it to link to additional cerebral units, which will multiply cognitive power in real terms. This allows you to fight Overwatch or make a heroic intervention for free each battle round, and gain or spend yield points when you're near objectives. Don't know what yield points are. The ability to fire Overwatch or make a heroic intervention for free is pretty good. It's not as good as a captain's ability or a Chaos Lord's ability to use a stratagem for free, but it's still pretty good. And so he goes with these guys, the Ironkin Steeljacks. Now, when I first saw these, I didn't think that much of it, but having seen them since, I wonder, and these are called the Ironkin, and we've already seen that this guy is potentially not human, or not Dwarven or Votan. These, to me, harken back, because they're very... I was wondering when I first saw them, why are these so tall? They don't look like dwarfs or Votan or Scots or something. I wonder whether these have something to do with the Men of Iron, which is like a faction, a sub-faction, if you like, in 40k. And I don't know much about them, but I think they were sort of servient robots that to take into battle that may have become sentient and then were hunted, I think. So not many of them exist. That might all be wrong. I don't know. I don't know the lore on Men of Iron, but I wonder whether this is an invention by the Votan based on the original plans or the schematics for Men of Iron, something like that. It's just a bit odd the way they are sort of tall, kind of shaped like Men of Iron, and also called the Ironkin Steeljacks. So that's my theory anyway, that they're Men of Iron in some way, or they allude to the Men of Iron. Steeljacks are a unit of Ironkin equipped with heavy-duty bodies and equally heavy weapons. They've been blessed by the Votan with innate martial talents, allowing them to anchor an entire battle line, shrugging off firepower that would lay even a Thunderkin low. Now, I don't know anything about the Leagues of Votan. I've not read the Codex. I don't know the lore. So maybe Ironkin is like their automata, their robots that the Votan use. I don't know. I won't pretend to know. Please tell me in the comments if you know more than I do, which wouldn't be hard. This new kit lets you build two different types of Steeljack, a unit with bolters and concussion gauntlets or plasma swords. So we've got bolters and concussion gauntlet and plasma sword. Or one with a heavy vulcanite disintegrator, which I'm guessing is this big. Looks like a massive shotgun thing. It looks pretty cool. These guys are tough, well armed, and have the special rules to back up the talk, including the Preymark crest, which I think is probably this. This looks like some sort of crest. Critical hits on enemies within range of an objective receive precision. Kiss those enemy characters goodbye. That's really good rule. So if you land on an objective marker in the game with a character unit, an attached unit that has a character in it, you can pick that character off from distance by the look of it as well. So nice precision on their weapons. Chthonian Earthshakers, and these are kind of we've seen this sort of artillery type piece before, haven't we? I mean, this is very sort of industrial, like a drill or a hammer or something, that almost in style, that's been repurposed into some sort of rocket launcher thing. It's the same sort of thing that like the Imperial Guard have, isn't it, really? These high-tech mole mortars are a real blast from the past, with a heritage dating back all the way to the Rogue Traitor era. Chthonian Earthshakers are a hybrid of technologies that fire an explosive payload deep under the surface to emerge unexpectedly amid the enemy. Each is served by a trio of kin who come with a variety of options, including different munitions. The Earthshakers can fire breacher or tremor shells, so that'll be anti-infantry or anti-tank, I imagine. and various tools, including a geomantic echolocator. Wow, I wonder what that does. Sounds fancy. I don't know why they've got weapons, really. Why has he got a weapon? Is he going to attack? He really should be loading the rocket launcher. And then this sort of small vehicle, the Capricus. The Capricus is a compact light vehicle used by the Hernkin Jaegers. The kit has 2 build options: the Capricus Defender, a fast-moving weapons platform, and the Capricus Carrier, a 5-berth troop transport specifically for Jaegers. So you can only carry 5 in there, so not brilliant, but 1 squad, I suppose. It features distinctive anti-grav repellers and curved armour panels, while the crew are also clad in thick coats like the other Hernkin, except for an Ironkin who can operate the gun on the back. So one of the robot dudes can operate this gun here. Cool, lots of different weapon options by the look of it there. There's at least 4 there. Pretty cool. The Capricus Carrier is armed with a twin magma coil autocannon at the front and another magma coil autocannon on the top. The Defender trades its crew space out for a Magna rail cannon or a High-las rotary cannon, which looks like that, I would think. I don't know, actually, who knows. I like it, it's pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of this hover aesthetic, but it's okay. It's all right if you like that sort of thing. And then, of course, the codex. And there's also a new codex coming for the Leagues of Votan with 144 pages packed full of lore, rules, and gorgeous art. There's more background information on the Leagues of Votan presented here than before, with plenty of fresh lore to sink your teeth into. I might get that, actually, to be fair. I really was against the squats coming back into 40k, but now they've fleshed the faction out a bit over the last few years. I'd like to know what their deal is and familiarise myself with the army, I think. And that is actually nice cover art. GW have been producing some wretched cover art recently. Hello, Black Templars. That's really nice. And that's old Berry with his Bane, his glaive, and the Tyrannid on his neck. So I like that. That's really cool. We'll cover the rules off closer to the release, but the army's rule has been entirely rewritten. There's also a new resource called Yield Points, alongside 5 detachments, 21 data sheets, a combat patrol, crusade rules, and a whole lot more. The codex will be available in normal and limited editions. Here's the combat patrol. What we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 units. Is there a character? So I don't know, because I'm not familiar with the vote. I don't know whether this is a 6-man unit or a 5-man unit and a character. And this could be a 5-man. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a unit, and that's obviously the sort of sergeant type character. And then 3. So 1, 2, 3 units. This has got to be a character then. So 3 units and a character. Oh, actually, it just says what he has done here. Baneslayer's Bulwark is the new combat patrol and a great way to add some serious muscle to your army. Inside you'll find an Einheer champion, if that's how you say it, which I'm guessing is that. 5 Einheer Hearthguard, which must be these guys. 3 Brocker Thunderkin, got to be these guys then. And then 10 Hearthkin Warriors, which are these. So it's interesting, the combat patrol boxes seem to be getting smaller and less value for money, which seems to be the way with absolutely everything Games Workshop produce these days. But yeah, so 3 units and a character. That's rough. For £100 this will be. So not even much of a saving or anything, not terrible value really. And of course there'll be new dice set, deck of data cards, etc. Right, let's keep going. Oh, yield points are the new Leagues of Votan mechanic. Players earn them by doing things such as controlling objectives and making kills. They can have a variety of profound effects on the battle, from small bonuses such as rerolls for specific models to army-wide buffs to hit rolls. Okay, sounds pretty good. There's too many rerolls in 40k though, but it sounds pretty good. Now we're approaching the 20-minute mark of this video, and I've managed to go through one release. It was one of the larger ones, but this doesn't bode well. This is going to be a long video, so strap in, folks, because we're going all the way. Next one, Tomb Kings. Now, when they showed the sort of Egyptian aesthetic on the teaser trailer, I actually did think it was Necrons, because I thought there was going to be a Necron kill team coming, and I think I was right in that. But what I didn't foresee coming was that they were obviously alluding to Tomb Kings. I had no idea they would come out with new plastic Tomb Kings, so it's nice to see them supporting Old World. The Tomb Kings are back from the dead with some incredible new plastic Lich Priests, and Tomb Princes, alongside 2 exciting new arcane journals as Warhammer The Old World enters a new chapter. So they've sort of re-released this old series of miniatures and added a couple of new ones to it, and now it looks like they are supporting them and adding more new plastic miniatures, so that's great to see, particularly if you're a Tomb Kings player. We'll quickly go through this one. The arrival of Grand Cathay into the Old World is just the beginning. Well, I hope so, because it's a brilliant range, and the fact they've gone to all this trouble of re-releasing Old World with all the books and re-releasing the old model ranges and introducing a couple of new ranges. Let's hope they really do flesh this out and rejuvenate all of the old and outstanding models. That'd be fantastic if they did that. Yet there are more great models to come and plenty more arcane journals on the way over the next few months, starting with the Tomb Kings of Khemri. I don't know what an arcane journal is. I'm guessing it's a codex. Royal Heralds, as is only fitting for their duty at the vanguard of Cetra's war hosts, the first new models are Royal Heralds for the Tomb Kings of Khemri. These gorgeous new plastic miniatures act as battle standard bearers and tomb princes on foot or mounted upon a barded skeletal steel. Slightly smaller, these pictures, so I can't see as much detail, but I mean, they look alright. They look kind of fun. I don't know whether you can see them, and I have no idea how I can, not like that. Not like that. Yeah, okay, so I can't really zoom in. The Royal Heralds, yeah, with 3 right and 3 left arm options, interchangeable across either model. You're free to build these however suits you best. Perhaps you want a hard-hitting prince on skeletal steed, backed up by a herald with battle standard on foot, or maybe you want your battle standard to be a bit more mobile. It's interesting because I wonder whether these are almost the same kit, and you just stick them on to stick the sort of the torso onto the horse if you want, because, like, for example, these two are in a very similar pose, the arm and the arm there. So I'm wondering whether you literally just get this, you build the torso and then you just literally stick it on the steed if you want to, or not. These are Lich Priests. These stunning new Lich Priests also come in a pair. One on a barded skeletal steed and the other on foot. Lich Priests are integral to every Tomb King's army. In other words, please buy this. And it's their magic that holds the whole force together. This plastic kit comes with 4 heads to choose from, as well as numerous other options. And then we have the Arcane Journal, War of Cetra's Fury. I'm going to try and skip through some of this if I can. 48-page supplement packed with lore, offensive loads of content for your games. You'll find rules for the mounts of Khemrian characters. So this is like a supplement then with some lore and rules in. Yeah, okay. And then another Arcane Journal, Dawn of the Storm Dragon. Chaos Champion Frydal the Chainmaker ransacks the northern reaches of the Empire. A fleet led by Miao Ying sets out from Grand Cathay, intent on beating back the scions of the Dark Gods and diplomacy with the Empire of Man. So this one ties in really with the Cathay release, doesn't it? It's all about dragons and sort of Chinese mythology and influence there. The Jade Fleet. Yeah. Okay, well that's pretty much it for the Old World. Nice to see them supporting it. next. Just a little one here for Age of Sigmar, Flesh Eater Courts and Night Haunts, both getting new codexes. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, Battletome Flesh Eater Courts. These are like delusional nobles, which think that they are still living in finery, but really they're sort of depraved and moribund, or, just monsters essentially now. So this one's coming out, and this character, the Battletome's coming out, and so is this guy, which is the new character. I wonder if there's any way of making this bigger. I can't work out how to do it. And now one thing about him, I do recognise the hat. So that was one of the hats that was previewed in the teaser trailer. So I had no idea what the hat was called, and I never would have guessed it would relate to the High Falconer Felgrin, whoever he is. So yeah, apparently he's a blood-crazed vampire with an affinity for wild creatures. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't do anything for me. I don't like really anything about him. He's a sort of muddled design, not very defined. He's got these horrible bats with him. I just don't like anything about that model, but you may. Particularly, the other thing is, so this is going to be like the Spearhead box that's coming out, and is he in the Spearhead? So he's not in the Spearhead box, and these are all old models, I think. I don't know Flesh Eater Courts very well, but these, I believe, are all pretty old sculpts, so it's a way of packaging up, old stuff and trying to resell it, which again is something GW do like to do. And then we've got the new Night Haunts Battletome, and I don't like that artwork, I have to say. I think it's a bit lazy, but what was the artwork like on the... That's not too bad. In fact, I think I'm not even sure that's a new piece of art. If it is, it's very similar to old art. That's okay. Although not much in the way of background. It's just basically one person on an almost blank page, as is this, really. I mean, there's not a great deal of effort going into this cover art. And in fact, the cover art for the Battletomes in this edition of Age of Sigmar have been largely terrible. Absolutely awful. I mean, I don't really follow Age of Sigmar that much. I've got a couple of armies. I remember the Dark Oath Battletome there was very bad art, and a few of the others as well. Just don't know what's going on with Age of Sigmar. And then we have another character release. This one for the Night Haunt, and he's very Night Haunt. He's not really doing it much that a lot of the other Night Haunt characters don't already do. I like the fact he's got some arms up there and he's just pouring himself some poison or something. This seems to be he's like sweeping some poison or some gas or whatever, some sort of horrible noxious liquid all across the battlefield in front of him. But the model itself is, again, not massively well defined. It's okay. It's just not really doing anything for me. I suppose if you're a Night Haunt player, then you'll get him and enjoy it. But the Lord Vitriolic doesn't do a great deal for me. And then, of course, they've got their Spearhead box as well. And the Night Haunts, I mean, they got a full refresh when Age of Sigmar 2.0 came out. 6-7 years ago now. So their models were all pretty new, but they're ghosts at the end of the day, so they're not that detailed, or there's not too much to look at with them. They're fun. They're a fun faction, but not for me really. Okay, we're racing through. This has only taken half an hour so far. Now let's get to this. What was probably the biggest reveal. God, I'm so hot under these lights. It's so hot in London still. This was probably the biggest reveal, I would say. A brand new army, a brand new faction for Age of Sigmar, and everybody knew that this was coming. Excuse me. Everybody knew that Chaos Dwarfs were on the horizon. So, and as I said earlier, I'm not a dwarf lover, so they weren't really going to excite me anyway. But let's have a look and see what this new faction's all about. The mortal realms quake yet again as the Hellsmiths of Hashut arrive to sow havoc on behalf of chaos. These dark Dwarden call themselves Zadron, venerating their dark god in the fires of infernal industry. So typical, they're dwarf. I mean, like Age of Sigmar always like to put a spin on things. Lumineth aren't just elves; they're sort of cow elves and flying out and have foxes in, and the Idneth Deepkin are elves, but sea elves and have sharks and turtles and things. And it's all like this. The Caradron overlords are dwarfs, but they're dwarfs that fly, and have airships. So Age of Sigmar allows Games Workshop to break with traditional archetypes and stereotypes in a way that they can't do with things like 30k and 40k, because they're bound by that law. So AOS was a clean slate for them, really, and so they do try and be as inventive as possible. But obviously, when you do Chaos Dwarfs, the theme is going to be forging metal and working, in mines, I imagine, and creating I don't know, maybe metallic structures and weaponry, maybe iron guns, things like that. The typical sort of industrial dwarf type motif that we see in so many fantasy settings. So let's see if they've put any sort of twist on this. The Hellsmiths of Hashut. Amid the thundering of infernal artifice and the scalding heat of the demon forges, the mortal realms quake once more as the Hellsmiths of Hashut assume their place among the forces of chaos. These are the Zardron, Dwarden, whose ancestors fell under the fiery sway of Hashut in eras past. They've embraced their corruption, and in the Age of Sigmar they are the very personification of dark industry, weaponized arrogance, and unbridled cruelty. And they look awesome. Well, I'll be the judge of that. Games Workshop. The Zardron have been hinted at throughout the 10 real-world years of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, spiritual successors to the Chaos Dwarfs, who once terrorised the world that was, and after a decade of clues, rumours and hints, they're finally here with a fantastic army set. I mean, I think they've been mentioned before in several of the battle tomes, and as they say here, they're hinted or they've been included in stories or mentioned in different stories and things and battle tomes and stuff. So people knew that there was a faction somewhere. So we sort of put two and two together and knew that this army would be coming on the horizon, and here they are. So this is the army box. Now all these units are new, so I don't know any of them, neither does anybody else, I imagine. But what we have here is, okay, the data cards, the battle tome, and the box. Quite a big box, but look at this. So this box is going to cost, what do we think? 125, 140, something like that, 150 quid. Could be. And look what's in this box, just at first glance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little thing there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 10 models. This is going to be a unit with him, whatever he is, some little mascot thing. So that's a unit. That's a character. You got this little artillery piece here, and then like a big, sort of weapon of war here. So that is 4 units then. 4 units in a army release box, where you would expect 10 units minimum, I would think. And I'm sure they're going to charge this is a combat patrol. This is 4 units. And even that is light for a combat patrol, but you can sort of forgive it if they put in, the 2 bigger models. And this is the army release box. So my first impression is this is terrible as a product, as a launch. Absolutely awful if this is the contents. Let's find out. Let's read on. Inside this box you'll find an entire spearhead's worth of miniatures alongside the brand new Battletome Hellsmiths Hashut Helmsmiths of Hashut, and War Scroll cards. Okay, so what they're saying is that this is actually a spearhead. So it is a combat patrol box. They're actually admitting it and saying this is a combat patrol box, but also with the cards and the battle tome in. What I'll be interested to see then, if they're going to say that this is basically combat patrol spearhead box rather than a army launch box, let's see what the price of it is. That's what I'm interested in, because this should be then £100. I know there's a codex in it and stuff, but you know, it really shouldn't be much more than £100. We'll find out in a few weeks' time, I suppose, or months. Leading the charge is the War Despot, a leader within the ziggurat fortresses of the Zardron. Swollen by dark power and clad in imposing armour, they see their thrall hosts as extensions of their own conquering ambition. Underlings are driven on relentlessly, expected to triumph or perish, while a despot's rivals fall beneath their blades. Weapons acquired at a terrible price and empowered by the most dangerous demonic essences. Why are they describing him as a they? Why is this? Is he non-binary? I mean, I don't understand why they keep doing this. He's obviously, he's a dwarf. He's a male. Call him he. I don't know what is going on. So there he is. He's got his big beard here with all these gems in. He's got this kind of alien-looking or chaos-influenced, infected weapon. And he's got his ridiculous massive hat with the horns on. And this sort of bull motif, I think, is going to be running through the faction. The Black Heart of the Zardron war hosts are formed by infernal cohorts. Are formed of infernal cohorts. Drawn in the main from the stock of the royal clans, the finery and pomp these Dwarden clad themselves in does not detract from their pitiless martial skill. Many of their regiments take to battle wielding spears ablaze with demonic energy, forming a wall of death that advances to the sound of arcane gongs and grinds down the foe without mercy. So this is a bit of a mishmash of a faction of infernal cohorts, and these are the main ones, the Zardron war host. Perhaps most importantly, they're accompanied by a hobgrot carrying a massive gong. Right, so that'll be him. He's the hobgrot. These are the Zardrons. This is the leader, the war despot, and then we'll find out what these two are. But this is the unit, the sort of 10-man unit of the Zardron. I don't know what I think of them straight away. Chaos dwarfs. I mean, one, I don't think dwarfs without beards, clean-shaven dwarfs, lose something. This looks like an orc or something, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a dwarf. This guy's got a beard, at least. It could be the paint job, but I find them a bit cartoony. Which is always a bit of a risk with Age of Sigmar. You never quite know whether they're going to push it too far and really overstep the line into cartoonishness. And as I say, it could be the paint job. He's a bit different, but again, it's weird. I find it slightly weird. They're almost like rounded segments stuck together rather than an actual human body. There's his big gong, the hobgoblin or whatever he's called with the big gong. Again, more clean-shaved Chaos Dwarfs. They really care about their appearance and like to be clean-shaven, apparently. Cool shields. I like the shields. I'm in two minds about these guys. I mean, I think a better paint job, a completely different paint job, would improve them. Not sure about... I like the purple. The purple and the green together, not for me, personally. But anyway, it's all subjective. And then we have the artillery piece. The vicious artillery piece is a Tormentor Bombard, a mortar-like weapon that lobs shots high into the air to fall upon the Hellsmith's foes. These are no ordinary munitions, but instead the raw stuff of chaos, crackling cores of dark energy formed from refined and processed demons that explode with terrible force. So these guys are processing demons in their sort of chaos forge. And of course you've got two versions, so don't just buy one kit, guys. Buy at least two kits. The kit also includes the option to build a Death Shrieker rocket battery, whose warheads bubble with the wicked fire of the Bullfather, a demonic chemical flame that ignites on contact with the air and rips across the field with a sentient hunger, like a heat-seeking missile. The weapons are operated by 3 cruel artillerists, so that's that. Meh, you know. Nothing about that model really grabs me. I know it's a functional piece of artillery kit, but I quite like that, where they've got like the actual furnace at the back there. What are they feeding into that? I'm not really sure. Like some big ball of demonic energy or something that gets spewed out. I don't know. It's okay. Doesn't grab me, doesn't make me want to buy the army. Then there's this big guy, the Dominator engine. Sounds okay. Embodies the Bullfather's urge to topple and crush, anointed with the blood of Dwardin who defy glorious Hashut. So Hashut is obviously the Bullfather that they're referring to. This guy's whole face is sort of enveloped in flame almost. Oops. And then smoke effects. I never like smoke effects on a model. I just don't think it really works. I mean, you're trying to make a plastic, a solid look like a gas, and it doesn't really work. Oh, unless that's his head. Is that his head there? God, I just thought that was his chest piece. But that's his head and that's his hair. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think so. It seems clear on with this one. So you can either have these, again, 2 kits, buy them all, guys. You can either have shooting, big guns, or a melee version, which I quite like actually, just 2 massive maces just to stride across the battlefield, smashing everyone's head in. Within these ironclad demon engines burns an inferno of tormented demon matter, and the malice of those entities leaks from their eyes in hateful waves. They can be armed with bane maces or immolation cannons, and either option will guarantee a bad time for the foe. Yep, they do look pretty lethal. The battle tome features a stunning cover exclusive to this set. I don't think it's stunning, actually. I think it's another bad piece of art. It's sloppy, and again, not much is happening, and it's just one blurry, ill-defined character on taking centre stage. Don't like it. We learn how they came to be, how they perfected the appalling art of binding and enslaving demons to power their unnatural weapons. Quite like that kind of bit of the lore. Importantly, we discovered just who or what Hashut is and how he relates to Grugni, Grimnar, Valaya, and Gazul. The Hellsmiths are a formidably elite army. Even by regular Dwardin standards, they harness enslaved demons to embolden their spellcraft and ensorcelled weapons, building demonic power as a resource as you dominate the battlefield. The battle tome also contains 2 regiments of renown for all Chaos armies to use, Path to Glory rules and more. Blah blah. But that's not all. There's other releases. There's everything in the army set. That's everything that's in the army set, but this is only the tip of the ziggurat. There will be more to come from the Hellsmiths of Hashut a few months after this box drops. So this box is going to launch pretty soon then, in the next coming weeks, and then you've got to wait a few months and then you can get the rest of the army, which includes Demon Smiths, which are immersed in the dark magics of their sinister patron Hashut. They are masters of empowering war engines with demonic power. When not hurling demon fire at the foe, the Demon Smith can heal war machines with his unnatural energies. There he is. It's okay. Again, more sort of trying to sculpt gas. Doesn't really work, in my view. This kit can also make an Ashen Elder, a priest of Hashut charged with performing grim rituals in the name of the Bullfather. They draw power from the desolation and ransack of the earth. And those Hellsmiths, units near enough to an Ashen Eldar, can shrug off grievous wounds in battle. There he is. He doesn't look that impressive, really, does he? Maybe he needed a hat or something, but there he is. So you can make him or him out of the same kit. You then have iconic Bull Centaurs, and they are as integral now to the Zadron as they ever were to the Chaos Dwarfs before them. Blessed by Hashut, These twisted beasts have the upper body of a Dwarden and the hindquarters of a monstrous bull. Their charge is powerful enough to trample and kill the enemy, even before their brazen mauls fall with crushing force. And again, I don't know whether it's the paint job, but they just look a bit cartoony to me. Not a fan. Looks like the same kit can make these. They can also be built as anointed sentinels, which I think I like a bit more, but yeah, still the same sort of problem. Guardians of the shrines and holy places, clad in Hashatar masks, within which swirl vapors that focus their devotion to their foul god. The anointed sentinels are defenders first and foremost. As such, they're especially dangerous on the counter-attack, where they strike with blinding speed despite their vast bulk. Another kit with dual options, the Infernal Razors, bring fire support to the Hellsmiths. This set of 5 models can be built with either Grismalok blunderbusses or Caragthrun flame hurlers. Yeah, nice naming, GW. Absolutely ridiculous. And both of them are utterly deadly. So let's have a look at them. These guys, another clean-shaven dwarf, looks weird, looks like an orc. He's got these big guns here. Or, that's a very fancy hat. And then these are even bigger guns. Okay. And then the Zardron are not alone in their acts of malice. They have vassals in the repugnant form of the Hobgrot Vandals, who march beside them. These are mobs of spiteful, jeering thugs, and while neither respected nor trusted by the Zardron, they are nonetheless a useful tool for brokering deals with the cruel boys or dying in their droves as a way to wear down the foe. Yeah, so these are like the chaff. And yes, that's right, when the cruel boys were first released, and they had these Hobgrots with them as like allies or part of the faction, I think that's when the these chaos dwarves were actually mentioned as well. So that was another sort of hint that this army would be coming. But here are these Hobgrots. I've got to say, they do absolutely nothing for me. They're pretty boring. But then we're on to, like, I'm just going to check how much more of this there is. Just one more release, really, which is this sort of centerpiece model. This big winged bull. Uruk-Tar, an ancient figure amongst the Hellsmiths, so aged that he is said to have studied under the gaze of Hashut, the father of darkness himself. He is a being of unrestrained malice and incredible power, but it comes at a cost. His flesh is afflicted by the magical petrification that curses all the sorcerers of Zardron. He rides on Gorakos, an infernal Taurus of prodigious strength, born into battle on a pulpit mounted on the beast's back. So this guy's flying this big sort of brazen bull with wings. Again, there he is, he's sort of swishing magic across the sky. I don't know how good that's going to look, really, because again, it's gas being sculpted out of solid plastic, so you'd need to be a good painter to make that look good, let's put it that way. There he is, and then this kit also builds an unnamed demon smith, perfect for adding your own unique flavour to your army. This variant has optional heads, allowing you to build the demon smith rider as either a son or daughter of Hashut. I don't know whether I like this model. Again, it could be the paint job, but this does not look to me like a huge iron statue, essentially, or that has been forged in a great furnace. This looks like a plastic child's toy to me. This round here, just segments. It's just segments of plastic stuck together. Maybe you could paint it. Maybe the brass looks a bit better actually, but this is not convincing as this having been forged in a giant furnace. So not blown away. On top of all these incredible new miniatures, there'll be 2 further editions of the Battle Tome, the Standard and the Gamers Edition. The latter is a smaller format designed to take up less space in your bag. Is that a new thing that they're doing? A gamer's version of a Battle Tome? And then it's just saying, stay tuned to find out more. So, that was the big release, really. The brand new faction in Age of Sigmar. I don't know, as I say, I'm not a dwarf fan at all, but this one left me cold. I don't see a single model in this army that I think, I'd love to have that. I'd definitely, that makes me want to collect the army. I don't see a single thing there that. But each to their own. You might see that and think, wow, what an amazing new army. Let me know. Tell me in the comments, is anybody going to be buying these new Chaos Dwarfs? What do you think of them? Am I wrong? Do you like them, or are you left a bit cold by them as well, like I am? So we've got through I think the meatiest articles in only 50 minutes. Very quickly, there's some new Underworlds, warbands, whatever they're called. I think, warbands. You have these sort of centaurs. Quite cool. They look a little bit like Bambi. Okay. And then, this is the first Hellsmiths of Hashut warband for Underworlds. So if you like these Chaos Dwarves, you can get even more of them. And there they are. Clean shaven, weird dwarf aesthetic. They're alright. Meh, I won't go through that too much. Next thing is a game that I've never seen anybody play. It was the modern take on the old Epic game, and I think maybe if they'd have set it in 40k there'd have been more uptake, but they just literally made a teeny tiny version of 30k. Legion Imperialis. Let's see what's coming for Legion Imperialis. Now there is one very interesting thing about Legion Imperialis, which is all of the models that they make for this game mean that they have a CAD file designed, and a design for the model which they can produce in this small scale, or can produce as a kit in big scale. So my hope is that the new things we see here for Imperialis will sooner rather than later find their way into 30k and into the full scale version of the game. And what really excites me about it is the Mastodon, the most awesome sort of super heavy transport. And I would instantly buy this if it came to Horus Heresy properly. Let's quickly read the article. With all the excitement around the Horus Heresy, there has been quite a bit of excitement around the Horus Heresy. Not all of it quite the sort of excitement Games Workshop would have wanted. Anyway, I'm going to be making quite a lot of videos about Horus Heresy. I've got the new box set, and I've got the Traitor Liber as well, so I'm going to go through those and do an unboxing and stuff. And I'm going to make quite a few videos on like the rules and the new version of the game, which I think I'm getting more and more into, actually, I have to say. But anyway, that's to come. Hefty reinforcements are being joined by a brand new supplement this summer. So as I said, the Mastodon, absolutely epic, brilliant, huge transport tank thing. As tanks go, the Mastodon is as big as they come, designed to deliver multiple Space Marine squads right into the heart of the battle. It's more of a mobile fortress than a traditional armoured fighting vehicle, with its own air defences, a siege melter array for obliterating anything in its path, and a variety of other options, including optional heavy bolter or las cannon sponsons. The Mastodon can bludgeon its way through almost any defensive line. This new plastic kit contains 2 miniatures. So let's hope that finds its way to the Horus Heresy, and likewise the Whirlwind as well. Artillery tank. Come on Games Workshop, let's get these full scale. So I won't go through because these are all known models. They're just making them now, they're just producing them now in tiny scale for Legion Imperialis, the Vindicator, the Cerberus, the Typhon, all tanks that exist in 30k. The Liber Strategia, an essential update for Legions Imperialis. Has content for every kind of player. There aren't any players, as far as I know. 240-page supplement collates updates and supersedes the previous army lists for lots of different factions. So if you're into it, a brand new book. And what are these? A pack of Legion, Astartes, Solar Auxilia and Mechanicum. These are handy quick reference resources. Perfect for putting at the side of your game table to save you rifling through your book. So they're producing a lot of sort of game aids here, data sheets and sort of short list type things, resources, and then tokens. I don't know how to play this game. I know nothing about it really. So a pack of 92 markers and tokens is a godsend for the various in-game orders. Yeah, I imagine it is actually, because there's lots of different small units in this game, so if things are happening, stasis effects being put on them, imagine just putting a little marker next to each one to remember what's going on is probably actually very handy. So yeah, good. If you're a fan of Imperialis, it's a great release. I mean, look at all the brilliant Marines tanks, but as I say, I just don't think it's popular because I don't see anybody playing it. Next thing, and this was something I was excited about, was the Horus Heresy reveal. New edition of Warhammer Horus Heresy Age of Darkness has only just arrived for pre-order, and reinforcements are already roaring in on flaming jump packs. And they didn't really reveal much because we'd already seen a preview of these guys. We've seen a preview of the Fellblade and the Breaches. They didn't even mention this, so I'm guessing there might be another reveal stream or a big article or something that really deals with Horus Heresy after it launches properly, and they're keeping that in reserve, but they had to show something for the Horus Heresy. So what they've given us is a better look at the Mark II Assault Squad, and the new plastic Mark II Assault Squad, and this is patently ridiculous, and I absolutely love it. Completely absurd, massive turbine engines strapped to your back, mental, brilliant. Great face. The sculpts, I have to tell you, in the Saturnine box, the detail of the sculpts are top tier. I think it is. I've bought every box set, I think, that major one that Games Workshop's released for 40,000 and 30k over the last 10 years. And I actually think Saturnine is probably the best box they've ever done in terms of the detail, the effort and the quality of the overall product, including the box and the instructions and everything. And you just look at the detail on these little models here. You know, his face is tremendous sculpting. These are great. You know, like a weapon like that. I think it's a disintegrator type pistol. So much detail on these guys. So, don't have a choice. Gonna have to buy these. Not sure whether I'd equip them with the big axes. He's got a massive two-hander. Not sure. Again, another really cool head. Really suits the Iron Warriors as well. It doesn't look quite so good. I mean, I think it really suits the whole all-in-one silver uniform look here. Salamander, not so much, but let's see what they say about it. The Legionia Astartes Mark II Assault Squad includes 10 multi-part plastic miniatures, all clad in iconic Crusade armour. As you can see, this has been updated with an even more durable chestplate and gorget, as befits its use for frontline assaulters. Cool. Every Space Marine can be equipped with a chain axe and bolt pistol, while the kit also includes optional combat shields, which can be swapped out for the pistol. So that's the combat shield. That looks very cool, actually, as well. That is really cool. On top of that, there are 2 of each of the following weapons: power mauls, heavy chain axes, Volkite Serpenta, disintegrator pistols and melter bombs, along with a variety of other grenades, holsters and pouches. You'll find rules in the Libers. And where you'll find that the chain axes are a points-free alternative to the classic chainsword loadout that you might have seen elsewhere. So you can use chainswords, but you just got to get them, because they obviously don't come with the box. They want you to use chain axes now for some reason. And then we have another what some people will call Day 1 DLC. So we already know that there's a Journal Tactica coming out, which I think is about Istvan, but I can't remember. But it's it's already sort of new scenarios, new rules, things like that, new missions that weren't included in the release. I think they're reasonably cheap, but some people do resent the fact that this all could have been packaged as one thing, rather than bled to us in small bites, if you like. But anyway, I imagine I'll be buying them all. The Forges of Saturn, the second in the new series of journals, Tactica for the Horus Heresy, is entitled The Forges of Saturn. It tells how the Primarch Vulcan was instrumental in the reintroduction of formidable Saturnine pattern Terminator armour to the legions, and how it would shape the face of battle during the Horus Heresy. The book's brimming with the lore behind some as yet unexplored events in the Horus Heresy: the Saturnine Renewal, the War of Bitter Iron between the Word Bearers and Iron Hands. Oh wow, two traitor legions going at each other there. Oh no, Iron Hands, not Iron Warriors. Okay, no, don't know anything about that. The War of Bitter Iron. And the Colan Distal incident, in which the White Scars and Thousand Suns turned on each other. This is a must-read supplement for every fan of the lore of the Horus Heresy. And that's all before we get to the rules content. 3 asymmetrical onslaught missions, 2 new Legionia Astartes detachments, and new profiles for a Saturnite command squad, a Centurion in Saturnine armour, cool, and for the Word Bearers, the Freitas Anointed Conclave, which is as below. And there is also an Arcana upgrade for a Thousand Suns unit clad in Saturnine armour. So again, all these new rules and missions, why didn't they all just come out together? I don't know. But it's just the start for the new edition of the Horus Heresy. Oh yeah, sorry, excuse me. I'm getting worn out by all this excitement. And I am quite excited for the Horus Heresy. Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated game. I don't have that much time now, and I struggle to paint Warhammer 40,000 armies, let alone a Heresy army, or it's before you even talk about doing it justice as a real hobby project. But I can't help it. I think I'm going to have to get involved with these. No more pictures, sadly. So we've covered really all the main stuff now. And we're an hour into this video. So let's just quickly. I always say quickly and then take fucking ages, don't I? So anyway, this is the new book series that's coming out. It's The Scouring. So after the Horus Heresy is over, and it says here, the Siege of Terror is over. The War Master's dead and the traitors are in retreat. The Emperor has fallen silent, interred on the Golden Throne, leaving mankind in disarray. Who is there to step into the breach? Set in the wake of the Horus Heresy, an epic new novel series is here. Expect brutal conflict, high drama and political machinations, all from Black Library's finest authors. And Gav Thorpe. No, I'm just joking. Let's find out. So the Scouring was all about then what happened when, in the years after the Horus Heresy, and the Imperium was trying to re-establish itself and essentially chase the traitor Primarchs and their legions out of the galaxy. So the questions will be answered in the Scouring series. That's pretty cool. Chris rates the first one. That'll be a strong start then. I think I've heard on the Rumourverse that John French will be doing the second book, and that will come out sometime around Christmas. Ashes of the Imperium. And there's Dawn arguing with Gilliman, saying, where the fuck were you? Well, I was holding the fort. And this is the wider picture, and you got all the loyalist Primarchs on, if you can see them. Valdor's there. I don't know who this is. Maybe that's Sigismund. Who knows? Probably not, actually. Maybe Malcador here. I'm not really sure. But a variety of characters from the Horus Heresy. The traitor legions flee terror in disarray, hounded by the remaining loyalists, both sides hungry for every scrap of vengeance they can extract. This is a time of change. Humanity has witnessed the dream of the Emperor's great crusade unravel, and from their perspective, it's all the fault of the legions. The Scouring is an epic saga following 3 key perspectives: as it examines the fate of the survivors of the Horus Heresy, the Loyalists, the traitors, and the rest of humanity. What happened to the Emperor? What's next for the Imperium? And can control be wrested back from the Primarchs? That's interesting. So there's quite a lot of political intrigue in that then. So the Primarchs are so powerful now, and obviously the Emperor's not really around. So yeah, it sounds like there's going to be quite a lot of political intrigue on Terra and whether the humans can regain control or take control, or whether the Primarchs are going to sort of run amok and go off and do whatever they want. Interesting. We'll meet a new cast of characters, including Bitter Iron Warrior, or Tag Theocon. All Iron Warriors are bitter. Zealous Wordbearer, Adrahasis, Wordbearer Adrahasis, and Chief Librarian of the Ultramarines, Praeto. Expect grand battles, bloody revenge, and political intrigue as the series unfolds and rivals vie for power. Ashes of the Imperium will be released later in the year. Blah, blah, blah. Looking forward to that. I'll definitely get that and listen to it on audiobook. Then we have 3 last things, and they're all really 40k related, happily. This I won't go through too much because it is what it is. New named character releases for Space Marine sort of minor factions, or the lesser factions, or the ones that aren't looked after as much or given as much attention as things like the Ultramarines and the Dark Angels and Blood Angels. These we all knew about before the stream. So as expected, we got Vulcan Hestan. And also I was looking earlier at their models, so we can compare. That was the old model of Vulcan. Quite a nice model, really, for the time that it came out. And that's the new one. I mean, it doesn't grab me. I don't look at that model and think, wow, what a model. Again, we have to sculpt flame, which doesn't look realistic. And on here, and on here, don't know. And again, maybe the paint job is slightly garish. So anyway, he's here. He's the chapter master. Is there anything to say about him? I mean, it's going through some of his rules here. The Spear of Vulcan, the Gauntlet of the Forge, and Caesari's mantle. These masterwork armaments turn an already formidable fighter into a veritable demigod on the battlefield, improving any flame or melter-wielding allies nearby, while boosting his Feel No Pain to an incredible 4+. Once Hestan plants his feet on a chosen objective. Wow, that is strong, actually. We even get to see Vulcan's face for the first time, judging by the scars. He's been at this quest for quite some time. I like the face. I think I'd probably have that rather than the helmet. Yeah, it's okay. This model looks great, though, and as expected, Dynath Lysander, captain of the first company of the Imperial Fists, a legend who leads his signature masked Terminator assaults from the front, having perfected the ability to accurately teleport large numbers of troops at the same time. He was once lost in the warp for over a millennium, that's careless, by Holy Terror's reckoning, but swiftly earned his position back at the head of the chapter's veterans with his exemplary, if sometimes controversial, service. I think if one of my work colleagues had been lost in the warp for 1,000 years and then returned, I would be slightly suspicious about them. I would certainly keep my ear to the ground about, what they're up to, but that's just me. The Imperial Fists obviously don't feel the same way, and they promoted him straight back to being captain. And here he is. I think that's, great. Absolutely fantastic shield. Look at that. Brilliant sort of power hammer. Love the eagle head. Love everything about this model, really. Love the cape. You could use this, and I'm sure people will use this for other factions. There's a lot of fists on this to get rid of. I'm sure all the wording is just painted on, but fist there, fist there, fist there, and on there, dangling off, and then a massive fist on the shield, and then a fist on his back. So you got like 5 fists, and that fist is on the back there, like it even looks like a fist from the back. You've got your work cut out for you to get rid of all of that iconography if you want to make him a Ultramarines captain or something. But it can be done. It could be done. But he looks great, and his model looked like that. So big upgrade, I think, actually, all round. Big upgrade. Fantastic. I like him. Lysander's classic Terminator armour has been brought bang up to date while retaining much of its unique design, from the large chapter icon on the chest to his incredible fist-shaped thunderhammer. Is it fist-shaped thunderhammer? Oh, God, there's another fist. Yeah, that is a fist. Fantastic. Did he have that in the old model? Oh, he did as well. Wow, but this looks just so much better. Ah, brilliant. Brilliant detail. It's the Fist of Dawn. The large storm shield he carries has been resculpted with immaculate detail, while hewing close to its original design, and his iron halo now more subtly crowns such a diligent son of Rogel Dawn. I love this. I'll be getting this model, definitely. And then we have a Raven Guard model. We don't often get Raven Guard models. This is the new Chapter Master, apparently, as Shrike has stepped down. Yeah. He stepped aside, and this is the new guy. And I've heard mixed reviews about this guy, but I actually think it's a great model. I don't understand the issue. Yes, it's a bit strange to have these ribbons hanging down, and you would think that if you're flying around with a fiery jetpack on your back, and chopping away with your power claws, they're probably going to get quite badly damaged and singed. So not the most practical of accoutrements for the battlefield, I would think. But I really like this, and I particularly like the cowled head. That's really cool. Not so much. That's okay, but I really like this head. Shan's ascension wasn't without merit, as the new Chapter Master is a deadly and pragmatic warrior with extensive experience fighting the full spectrum of mankind's enemies, including the forces of chaos, alongside Uriel Ventress in the novel The Chapter's Due. Oh, okay, so he's an established character, not just a new one they've invented. This impressive miniature is dripping with corvidae details, from the cloak of sable feathers and curved claws to his armour's taloned feet and the winged servo units built around bird skulls. So these are servo units that are just flying about. Yeah. It also packs 3 different head options, so you can feature him hooded, helmeted, or with long locks flowing free. I really like him. I think he's brilliant. I really like the pose. That's a really great use of a tactical rock or tactical tree stump, or whatever that is. Yeah, brilliant. And then the Iron Hands, Karnok Var. There are few Iron Hands that exemplify their chapter's creed more than Karnok Var, the Iron Captain of Clan Averni, the most heavily augmented veterans of their brotherhood. He is a merciless and efficient warlord who has been on the forefront of the Iron Hands wars for longer than any can remember, sustained by ancient masterwork augmetics that encompass almost his entire body. In fact, some say that his left eye is the last original part of Karnak Var, with the rest given over to the blessed machine. So this guy's really gone to town with the bionics in true Iron Hand style. He has a ridiculous power maul thing that is like the length of his body. That's brilliant. Love it. And yeah, all these sort of iron hands detailing, the sort of I don't know how to describe that. It's like a tabard made of layered iron plates, isn't it? Again, almost like he's working in a forge. Again, the extra plating here, the sort of cog motif on the shoulder panel, and he's got a couple of sort of cherub type, servo skull type, not cherubs, servo skull servitor things. He's great model, love it. Like all members of Clan Averni, Var feels little more than burning hatred for his chapter's enemies, but he maintains an outward appearance of cold and stoic logic, typical of the Iron Hands. His extensive suite of bionics and data tethers feeds real-time battlefield data right into his mind so he can formulate efficient solutions on the fly. And if that isn't enough to secure victory, his enormous power Tetsubo, that's the mace thing, the maul thing, will simply crush whatever stands before him. Yeah, I believe you. He's cool. He's great. That's the only bit left of him that's human. Brilliant. And then this dude, which is very different, but again, we did know he was coming. Subadan Khan. As the right hand of the Great Khan and leader of the White Scar's preeminent Spearpoint Brotherhood, Subadan Khan is one of his chapter's mightiest heroes. He led the White Scar's 5th Company for over 2 centuries before being awarded command of its veterans, and his skill as a warrior matched only by his mastery of strategy on a sector-wide scale. And I've seen a lot of criticism, or some criticism, of this model. Don't like the bike, don't like the, blah, blah, blah. This is an awesome model. I mean, I really love the fact it's the actual positioning. It looks active. It looks like he's really flying through the air. Sort of wind in his hair and just leaning to chop into some sort of poor unfortunate orc or something. I love the fact that the bike is like this bulky kind of squarish, like brick type thing. Love it, absolutely fantastic. Little details of the heads that he's taken as trophies. It's brilliant, like the flowing cape. I've only got one photo of him here, not like the 360 or anything, but he looks brilliant. The face is absolutely fantastic as well. Like many of his brothers, Subadan Khan fights best from the saddle, cutting bloody swathes through hordes of foes with his elegant power lance. His grav bike packs much heavier firepower than other steeds of its size, mounting an onslaught Gatling cannon in the front that effortlessly shreds lightly armoured foes before ploughing through their lines at lightning speed. All 5 of these characters will have their rules available for free download on the Warhammer community website on release, so you can get them onto the battlefield as soon as the glue is dry. So, look, there are a lot of rumours about there being a Space Marine 2.0 release coming later this year. I think that has put the kibosh on that. I mean, we're coming to only a year left, less than a year left of 10th edition. They're not going to release a new Space Marines Codex now, and if they did, these guys would be in it, I think, and you'd be buying the rules in the Codex. So if they're releasing these rules for free, I doubt there's going to be a Space Marine Codex 2.0. Who knows? But my overall impression, these are absolutely fantastic. 5 brilliant new characters. Not so keen on Vulcan, but but the rest, I think they've absolutely smashed it. Really, totally thematically in keeping with the respective legions and chapters. Now, not quite so positive, because I've seen these, are the combat patrols that are coming. Each chapter will be getting a new combat patrol set to give you a thematic starting point for the rest of your collection. Alright, blah blah, let's just see what they are. This shite. Okay, crap. Nobody buys these Inferno things because the Inferno squad, it came with Leviathan. They're kind of single pose, not push fit, but you just click them together. The shoulder pads, you can't change them, they're like fused on. They're a bit sort of cheap and tacky feeling. This Mario Kart is one of the worst models Games Workshop has ever made. So that's that much of the box. Then you've got some bog standard assault intercessors, and then 3 eradicators, which is a nice kit and useful, but 3 models. And then you've got the character. So look, if you're looking to start a Salamander's army and you need the other character, I can't remember his name, Hestan or something. No, hang on a minute. What's this guy called? Vulcan Hestan. This is the other one. I can't remember his name right now. Although I do own the model, bizarrely. Yeah, so if you look in Star Salamander's Force, maybe you'd buy some of this. I mean, that is good on the battlefield with the melter, if you play the game, but not a nice model. And if you still haven't got this character, then yeah, maybe this is a good way to pick him up and get a few extra bits. But as a non-Salamanders player, you're not going to want to go anywhere near this, I don't think. This is better. This is pretty good. The command squad, a squad of Terminators, and then some heavy intercessors. But, you know, this is a combat patrol for £100, and there are 3 units in here. 3 units. No characters, nothing. So, garbage in terms of value. Then this one. Mixed. I hate this Invicta crappy warsuit thing, and the Phobos, the Infiltrator kit, is Marmite for most people, although I don't mind it too much. And then you've got the jump pack intercessors with the captain. That's pretty good. So here you have 1, 2, 3 units, one being a vehicle and a character. It's better. It's not brilliant, but it's better. This is a bit of an embarrassment. 2 gun emplacements that nobody wants or ever buys or uses. A character, like Tech Marine character, Forge Father, whatever they call it for the Iron Hands. And then, 10 heavy intercessors. £100? Would you pay £100 for that? I'd pay 50. But, I wouldn't, because I don't want those guns. No, neither does anybody else. And then this, they've paywalled this character for the time being in this box. And again, you've got 1 small squad, another 3 bike unit, an impulsor, and then him, character, the new character. 4 units, 5, 6, and 4, 10 models for £100. And that's their value proposition. Come on. Yeah. Nothing else to add, really. These are poor, really poor, and they're just a sign of. I mean, where does this end? Games Workshop just literally going to have a combat patrol in the end, and it'll be 1 intercessor, and it'll be £100, and you just buy an intercessor, and it's called Combat Patrol, or maybe they have 1 intercessor and 1 Hellblaster just on their own, and Combat Patrol, £100. I mean, this is just so crap. Anyway. To cap it all off, new dice sets for all 5 chapters will also be available. That's nice. Well, hopefully they're nice. We don't have any pictures here yet, but check back. Right. I'm now up to 1 hour 22. Oh my god, this is going to go on longer than the actual stream did. What is left, people? We have 2 things left. We have this I can cover very quickly. It's a bit of tat, really. It's a gimmick. It's a helmet. It's a Primaris helmet you can buy and wear and run around your house and pretend you're Titus from Space Marine 2. Or you could just stand it somewhere, in your toilet or something. Yeah, this explains why Games Workshop recently litigiously went after various different cosplay manufacturers and small companies that were producing things like helmets and things like that. So they've stamped down on that. They've ruined a few businesses out there and threatened people because they want you to buy the official helmet, not one that somebody else has taken the time to design. That's all you can really say about that. And it's about £140 plus postage. If you really are a masochist, then feel free to get involved with that, buy that. But let's end with something a bit more positive, and it's the kill team that everybody really was expecting, Necrons versus Deathwatch. And as they say here, the kill team that gives Kill Team its name is finally here. The noble Space Marines of the Deathwatch have arrived on a slumbering Necron tomb world in a valiant attempt to prevent it from awakening. The new season brings cool new Necron terrain and 2 incredible new teams. And it is curious that in the same sort of year that Games Workshop have done away with the Deathwatch Codex, and seem to be sort of turning away from Deathwatch and no longer supporting it as a faction, they've brought out a new kill team with the Deathwatch. Weird. I'm glad they have. I love the Deathwatch. They're fantastic. And this looks like a really good box set. Beneath the rad-washed wastes and dusty chasms of Somneft lurks an existential threat to Imperial forces in the Nephilim sector, a dormant Necron world which could spell disaster for the Indomitus Crusade. Yet humanity's armies are demanded elsewhere, and of all the commanders in the region, only the Xenos hunters of Watch Fortress Prescience understand the true nature, or the true danger rather, posed by such a tomb. Something must be done. Within the shifting halls of a forgotten dynastic outpost, the Deathwatch descend on the Necron menace to put an end to their reawakening in Kill Team Tomb World, the first of a new season of expansion. So new one's coming, and there are rumours that there will be an Eldar Exodite kill team coming soon as well. So look out for that. But for now, yeah, we don't need to read that. It's just saying, yeah, you're going to get different models, basically, is what they're saying. And of course, it's a kill team. It's a Deathwatch kill team. So if you don't know, each member of a Deathwatch kill team is taken from a separate chapter. So chapters send different sort of exemplary members of their chapter to go and serve for a time in the Deathwatch. This is something that's obviously been slightly stolen from Game of Thrones, in a way, you know, like sending different people up to the watch. But they've repurposed it like Games Workshop do with everything, and made a 40k faction out of it. So, and I'm glad they did, because I really love the Deathwatch, as I said, and they all wear this black armor of the Deathwatch, and with a left silver pauldron and arm, and they're distinguished or identified by their right shoulder pad, which denotes which chapter they're from. So this guy's a White Scar, and he looks suitably sort of Asian. Great model, great face. Really like that model. This guy is a Flesh Tearer and looks suitably sort of pallid and vampiric, being a Blood Angel. Can't see who this guy is. Carrying a plasma. This is an Imperial Fist with his like crew cut. A Salamander, of course, he's got a great big melter. A Raptor with his Mohican charging on. Can't see who that is. And then it almost looks like a Red Scorpion. I'm not sure whether it is or not. They painted a stubble all over him. I mean, these are great. Love this guy. I think this is Wolf Spear, which is a sort of subfaction of Space Wolves. Look at that. Great face. Really does kind of look like a feral animal. And then you have to have an Ultramarine. So him. And then I think this guy's a Guardian of the Covenant, which makes him a Dark Angel. And look at him with his Xenos tech, his heretical Xenos alien blade there. Is there anything worth saying here? No, it's just sort of telling you how many things you get in the box. And of course, these Deathwatch Marines will be fighting the Necron Force, which I'm not so keen on. He's okay. I'll just quickly go through. These are really nothing models, though. I mean, low effort. These aren't too bad. And they're very Necron-y. And it's difficult because what do you include in a box where it's just a few corridors and you have to keep it low power, and it's just a few models. But I don't like these at all. These would have been better actually on see-through stands, I think. I don't like them at all. But you do get a lot of terrain with this. So you can build your own sort of almost like a Space Hulk or a boarding action type scenario here. There seems to be like some objective marker type things. Yeah, probably a lot of fun. Will I buy this? Not sure. I think I might wait and just buy the kill team if I do get anything, because the Necron side just it doesn't grab me enough, and I don't think I'll be playing kill team ever, so I don't really need the terrain or anything like that. And then you get the rule book and all the tokens and everything like that. So that's that. So, but I really love the fact they're giving a bit more attention to the Death Watch, and who knows, maybe in 11th edition we'll actually get a codex. Just going to check that there's nothing crucial to tell you about this. No, not really. It's just talking about the terrain things. So yeah, so nothing more really to report on that. And we're up to the 90-minute mark now. So that was it. So those are my impressions of everything that was revealed. I'd say it was an okay reveal. I was expecting probably a bit more, but you never quite know what you're going to get. Sometimes, as I say, these reveal shows are really bad. Sometimes they're brilliant. I think this one was kind of middle of the road. You know, we knew what we were getting. I'm not a fan of the Votan. Nothing about the new Hachette faction grabs me for AOS. The other stuff, the Night Haunt and the Tomb Kings, all a bit, you know, the Imperialist, okay. We'd seen these before, the Mark II Assault Marines. So yeah, happy to hear about the Scouring book series coming. That'll be good. Glad that the characters that we knew were coming have been done so well. They're all great. Any of them really will grace an army very well on the battlefield. Trash and a Death Watch kill team. So sort of 5 out of 10, sort of middle of the road. Let's see what the next one brings. Curious to think what will come up now. I think there will be a bit of focus on Horus Heresy, the new edition, because that's officially released next week, and I think tomorrow will be the reveal show the reveal article for the pre-orders for Black Templar and Grey Knights, and I'm a bit worried about the Black Templar release because there have been some leaks, and the rules changes that were in those leaks are terrible. For what is already a struggling faction, but we didn't see all the rules, so who knows? We'll have to wait to see whether they have been improved or pretty much ruined. So that'll be what's coming out in the next few weeks. I will do an article or a video tomorrow if it is 40k, and those are the reveals for Sunday night. But those will be the focus, I think, of Games Workshop over the next few weeks. So hopefully more models revealed for the Heresy, and we'll see what it brings. But if you're interested in any of the stuff that was revealed yesterday, please tell me. Please let me know. Let's have a discussion. What are you going to be buying, if anything? What did you like? What did you dislike? Let me know. Those are my thoughts. I'll leave you now and get a drink and probably have a lie down. All right, see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.